God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. One problem: He created the light before He created the sun. Where did the light come from? Well, greetings from sunny Sydney, except it's not sunny at the moment because it's about 8 o'clock at night. And I'm at the Vivid Sydney light show, the greatest light show on earth. Hello, I'm Douglas Bruno McCartney. Isn't this spectacular? Yes, it's quite something. This light show takes place every year. I think this is the 4th or 5th year I've attended. The music's not too bad this year. That's the thing that usually lets it down. The music. 1914. 2014 was the best year for lights and music combined. And then the light shows have always been brilliant, but the music has often been quite wishy-washy and a bit disappointing. Hello, something new happening here. Creepy crawly vines going from the bottom to the top. But as I was saying, this all-knowing, clever dick God, how come he didn't realise that the light comes after the creation of the sun? You know, people ask me, how come you don't believe in God? I say, well, I would expect God to be reasonably intelligent. And clearly he wasn't, because he got it all wrong. He even created the vegetation. Bushes, trees, ferns, and animal life, human beings, everything, before he created the sun. Something very wrong there. People ask me, how come you don't believe in God? And I say, well, you know, if there is a God, surely he'd be reasonably intelligent. He would realize you can't have light until you've created the sun. And the God you worship wasn't aware of that. He even created vegetation before he created the sun. How did the vegetation grow? The trees, the bushes, the ferns? Impossible. My attitude would be, get it right, God. Stop being an idiot. So this is rather good, isn't it? By the way, this was created by mankind, not God. And this, where I am at the moment, I'm opposite the Museum of Contemporary Art in Sydney. Sydney, Australia. I don't know whether it's the greatest city on earth, but it's definitely the greatest city I've ever lived in. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. It's the harbour that makes it, of course. I might take a shot across the harbour and show you the Opera House lit up, but I won't get a very good view of that because I haven't got a telephoto lens, and it never comes out very well, unfortunately, but we'll give it a go. But I'm sure you're enjoying this light show. It's pretty fantastic, isn't it?
And if you've got a wide lens, you can put a wide lens.
There's that internationally famous bridge. I got a better view of that the other night when I was on a boat with a whole heap of drunken women screaming and shouting. So, not that I minded, it was all good fun. Just met a Maori girl from New Zealand. Well, New Zealand. Where's all the Maori girl people? Czechoslovakia or somewhere. And she knows all the people that I used to know on Radio Haraki. Except for Blackie, apparently, the DJ. Blackie, the most popular DJ in New Zealand, and he's no longer there. I wonder what happened to him. Anyway, that is what is known as the Harbour Bridge. Can we go in and... no, we don't need to go in there. That'll do. Maybe we get a better shot of the Opera House this time. Okay, well, we're pretty close to the Opera House this time. I'm hoping. Let me hold on to something. Sorry, otherwise I might go overboard. Now, wrong angle, unfortunately. Never mind. At least we can see it. And that's the cityscape with the Opera House in the foreground. I don't know if that'll come out, but it's worth a try. Anything. Pleasure cruiser, similar to the one I was on earlier tonight. Now, is he going to put my view of the Opera House? No, there it is. Varsity blows. Oh, I just noticed I still have this little thing here in the middle, and it's not in the middle. Now it's in the middle. I think that affects the focus, I'm not sure. But at least we've got a reasonable view of the Opera House this time. Funny that I've just been on a 2-hour cruise and didn't get a particularly good shot of it, and now I'm on the ferry coming home, and I think that's quite a reasonable glimpse of the Opera House. I hope it's in focus. So yeah, now that boat's going to go in front of it and spoil everything. How dare it? So we'll keep on shooting. I've never managed to get a close-up shot of the Opera House from across the other side, and it's hardly worth buying a telephoto lens just for one shot once a year. So, I think we've got it in the bag this year. So here we are back at the Museum of Contemporary Art, and the show goes on. In fact, I think it goes on until about 10 o'clock at night. Now, while on the subject of Genesis, which we were, if you think back hard enough, long enough, I have a question. What happened to the original Eve? Everybody remembers the story of God creating Eve out of Adam's rib. But what happened to the first Eve? A lot of people don't realize that God created man and woman simultaneously. In other words, together at the same time. But then Eve went missing. Yeah, well, what happened to her? She must have fallen down a tar pit or something. And so some while later, God created a second Eve out of Adam's rib. I'm sure you believe that. You better believe it or you'll burn in hell. Now, Eve had 2 children, Cain and Abel. Cain murdered his brother Abel because he was jealous. Abel presented the Lord with a sacrifice or an offering of meat, and the Lord loved meat. Oh, did he ever? Whereas Cain offered the Lord fruit, and the Lord wasn't into fruit. No. He wanted roast beef, roast lamb, probably not roast pork. And so, out of jealousy, Cain killed Abel. And so there was only one young lad left on the planet now. And Cain went on to produce so many children that they wandered off to the land of Nod, and as the Bible says, builded a city. Builded a city for who? Who did Cain impregnate? It must have been his own mother. Think about it. There was no other woman on the planet. Oh, incest, naughty. But there again, some more people must have sprung up from somewhere, because after Cain murdered his brother Abel, God gave him the mark of Cain. We don't quite know what the mark of Cain was, but its purpose was to protect Cain from the citizens who would do him harm, to punish him for murdering his brother. Now, who were these citizens that Cain was so fearful of? He pleaded with God to protect him from these violent people who were out for revenge. Who were they? Where did they come from? Please do think about it. People, Christians I've spoken to, think that the mark of Cain was a bad thing. But it was a mark that God put on Cain to protect him from all these wild, revenge-seeking citizens that sprang up from somewhere. All a bit of a mystery, don't you agree? A cynical person, far more cynical than me, might suggest that the whole story is bullshit.